like to call to order the town meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Here.
Trustee McDowell?
Here.
Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee Deteen?
Here.
Chairman Neal?
Here. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please join us. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. There are no agenda changes this evening, so moving on to item 5, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held July 18th, 2017 at 6:30 p.m. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Second? There you go.
Second. It was already seconded.
Discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Are there any citizens' comments this evening? Going once? Going twice? All right. Moving on to item 7 on the agenda, authorized bills for payment. Trustee Deteen.
Yes, I had the honor today to meet with the Township Supervisor and Assessor, looking over the bills, and I respectfully asked the trustees to approve the bills, which amount to $63,760.05.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 8 is consider adoption of revised Zion Township Employee Handbook per Chairman Neal. Is there a motion?
I will move that we approve the handbook as amended.
I'll second that.
Second. Any further discussion? Oh, wait, so there is discussion because I want to incorporate what Mike is speaking about in regards to the amendments. So there were 2 things that Trustee McDowell brought up that we addressed. One was under equal opportunity employer. On the middle of page 8, it goes on and on saying in regard to race, color, creed, gender, religion, age, national origin, marital status, disability statures, and he recommended that we change it to the township is an equal opportunity employer, and therefore personnel will be employed, promoted, and compensated according to their individual qualifications, ability, and performance without, and we just changed the word to discrimination, or any other basis protected by state or local law, because all of those situations are protected classes. So we just took those 2 full lines and just put discrimination in there. So thank you, I appreciate that. Brittany and I looked that over and got that. And then the other recommendation was in the on page 22 under vacation. I added a line at the very beginning that just says, as the township supervisor and assessor are elected positions, their schedules are based on fulfilling the roles and duties of their positions and are not based on specific hours worked. The information in regards to vacation, personal leave, and funeral bereavement apply to paid employees only. So that just, that goes along with the state statute for the elected positions. So those were the 2 additions that we made to the employee handbook today upon his request.
I just think it clarifies it. There's a little a little paragraph on page 8, but then I just didn't find any place where those exceptions existed, so that just clarifies it.
Right. Yeah, and originally the focus, so the employee handbook was solely focused on the employees.
Yeah, right.
And then on page 7, it says to whom this handbook applies, and it says provisions contained herein apply to all employees and appointed officials unless otherwise stated. An employee is a person in the service of the office who is directed in the material details of work performance. So I actually went through, and any place where it applied to the assessor and I added that information in, and that's the corrections that you guys got from the last meeting. So I appreciate you looking through it. If you look on page 2, we've made a lot of revisions from 2006 until 2015, so we will add this on here as the new revision for this evening. So, any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 9, discussion regarding education benefits per Chairman Neal. So at the last minute, Trustee McDowell, you asked the question about the frame that we had purchased. And I just wanted to, at this meeting, clarify the education benefits that we do for the employees, for the supervisor's office employees, are, we have in the budget that we approved up to $2,000 to support their education each year. And then once they get their degree, for each degree that they move up, they get a 1.5% increase and the frame from their college to be able to put their diploma in. So that's the benefit, the education benefits that we provide to help them move forward. It has, I believe, it has blessed the township immeasurably. I mean, Sandra Usher came to us with high school diploma, and her getting her associate's degree, she has stepped up in leadership in so many ways. Same thing with Adriana Ortiz going for her bachelor's in social work. She's halfway done with that, and it's making a really big difference. And so I think it's definitely well-invested funds.
Sure. I just saw the line item, and
Right. No,
And
that's
just
an
ask the
important
question.
question. But I think it's important to clarify so that everybody
Sure.
knows,
Yeah.
all the different benefits. Moving on to item 10, discussion regarding medical insurance changes per Supervisor Neal, and I added that in my board-specific issues on my board report. So we are terminating our current medical insurance policy through HRB Solutions, and effective September 1st, employees will be covered under a Humana PPO policy through Leach Bridges. We're working again with Mike Best. This change will allow for improved customer service and claims processing, widely accepted insurance, and a local insurance broker. We have had a lot of problems. The insurance company that we went with, we actually had Mike Best sit in with us when we went through the coverage, and he said that we had to go with them. I mean, the rates were good. What they claimed that they would be providing were too good, and it was a new insurance with everything that was going on. It turned out to be an absolute fiasco. Our business manager is right now dealing with a stack of claims that have not been paid. We've spent more time on the phone and email with them, and they recommended that we go through the Attorney General's. I mean, it's been not a good situation. So we called Mike Best back in and worked with him to come up with a plan. And as it turns out, the plan that we're going with, it's within our budget. And so that worked out really well. The difference is that they don't do a deductible, they do a much higher copay. So what we're gonna look at doing is staying in the budget and being able to help compensate a little bit on the copays instead of the deductible. Our employees still pay 10%, and those, it will be increased. Everybody's gonna be paying more for the insurance. But at this point, nobody cared. They just want insurance, because the insurance that we've had, it's almost like we don't have insurance. And so, let's just see if there's any other notes. So, yeah, so that's what we have with the insurance. And so that's actually, thank God, gonna take effect September 1st for the employees. Is there any other information you guys would want on that? Or? We're staying within the budget, so it's nothing
Yeah, I
we
mean,
need to
if-
vote
If
on.
you're
I
going
just-
with an insurance broker, they're gonna help you find the best policy
Right, yeah.
every year, and so there's a real benefit to that. Did we have a broker before?
Well, we were with Leach Bridges, and then
Now?
no, prior, and then this gal is a broker. The gal that we went with is a broker, and other townships were using this organization and swore by it. They said it was really good, and then with everything in the insurance agency, everything tanked, so.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so we went back, and it'll be good. We're looking forward to it, so. Okay, any other questions about that? Okay, the next item I wanted to share with you, so everybody by now is aware that Pierce campus is going to be closing and being torn down August of 2018. And there's a number of agencies that reside in Pierce campus that I've been working with just to help brainstorm and come up with solutions on where they can move to. And one of those organizations is NACASA. And Now, the history of Nakasa in our community, and Lloyd, I think you're the only one that might have been around for all of it, and, well, Diane, you were the deputy clerk. So when I first got elected as township supervisor, we had a substance abuse counseling program in the township called CREW. There were a number of problems with it. We thought about unplugging it, but realized that the services that we provide are oftentimes to individuals that aren't working because of substance abuse issues. So what we wanted to do was try and figure out a way to keep those services in the community, because if we just unplugged it, then, you know, I mean, it's one thing to say, well, Nacasa's in Waukegan, but when you don't have a driver's license, Waukegan is a really far walk. And so we revamped it, we got it to where it was self-sufficient, it moved over to Pierce campus, and then working with a consultant, Jimmy Smith, he helped us to like realize that it really needed to be spun off separate. So Mike, you were on the board for that whole changeover, and so then Nakasa took over CREW, and then 2 years later they dropped the name, so they're back at just being Nakasa. They provide services over at Pierce campus on Mondays and Tuesdays right now. Those services include, let me just go through the list. DUI evaluations, substance abuse evaluations, adolescent and adult groups, and anger management, as well as family advocacy. So they have.
And they accept court mandated counseling as well?
They do. That's a lot of what they do is through the courts that are mandated. So worked with my team to look at the space that we have and trying to find a way. One of our major goals for this year was how do we maximize the space at the township? And so met with them, and then Bruce Johnson came in and I met with him. He's the executive director of Nakasa. And what I would like to propose is having Nakasa be housed at Zion Township. They're looking at Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So they would do family advocacy, which is what we do with resource appointments is we meet with the family to try and come up with solutions, but we don't do actual case management. Where Nakasa will do case management to help them all along the way to like make sure that those things take place. And so they're looking at Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and they would use Gail's old office, the operations office, and the boardroom. And so in 2015, we had actually, as a board, discussed leasing out space. We were talking to our state representative, our state senator, congressman, if they wanted to rent space, and we had set the premise of if an organization wanted to rent one office for 1 day a week, we would charge $1,000 a year to cover costs. And if they wanted to rent for 3 days a week, we would charge $2,500. Meeting with Bruce, and then I spoke with Vernon Township, because Vernon Township also houses them, but they have 4 offices, a group room, all space that's 100% designated for Nakasa. And they charge Nakasa $100 a month for rent. In my mind, the symbiotic relationship between Nakasa and what we do at the township is so close. What I would like to propose to them is that we also charge $100 a month for rent, so it would be $1,200 a year. And possibly even in the negotiations, see if it would be a cash payout or if it could be in services. So because a lot of our GA clients, they need to, they have to get the DUI evaluation so that they can get their license back. We do a lot of drug testing, different things like that. And if there's an opportunity to do a reduced price or, you know, something like that where we can have a win-win with that. So that's the 2 pieces to it. And then just an additional piece to share. In our budget, you notice we give Nakasa a $3,000 a year stipend. It used to be much bigger than that, but when we had to cut the budget, everything got cut. So that $3,000 a year stipend is just to support them to make sure that they provide services in our community. And so that's separate from specific services for GA clients or summer work program or anybody like that. It's just to support them. Then we give the funds to the food pantry, pads, just a little stipend so that we can work with them to make sure that our residents have those services available. So all that said.
So where's it gonna be housed again?
Nakasa?
Yeah.
So they would be using Gail's old office, the operations office, the same office that Melinda Bush and Brad Snyder use.
Right, but they're only there Monday and Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And Brad Snyder's office is there on Wednesdays. And then the boardroom, we have Cap doing finance classes during the week. So we would need to find out from Gregorio Resendez when he would like to allocate that space, because he gets first dibs. But then have NACASA have set hours that they would also use the
Do you
boardroom.
feel that there's enough space in
Yeah,
the
and I
building to
met,
house clients
Yeah.
that coming in?
yeah, and so one of the issues that came up was, in the evening, we're not open, and so how would we handle that? And what they said that they do at the other agencies that they, have space in is that they have a wireless doorbell at the front, and when the counselor is meeting with somebody, the person rings the bell and they go out and they get them, lock the door back up and bring them back with them. So they're always being supervised, and we can lock down, except for the reception area, we can lock down the rest of the building, to be able to make that usable. So yeah, it is different. It's gonna be a lot more cramped, but definitely the best use of our space to be able to provide those services, in the community. So curious thoughts about it. So where I've gone so far with it is I met with my staff, came up with any questions, concerns. My staff met with the supervisor that's over at Pierce Campus to find out what it is they're kind of looking for, because often when the two bosses meet, they don't really, they miss some of the stuff. So they got the detail lineup of what they're really looking for, and then we had Bruce Johnson come over to the township and tour, and we had a conversation. So he sent me the Vernon Township contract and the dates that they're looking for. I'm still, they didn't give me the hours, so I want to find out what the hours are he's looking to provide services, and then when they're looking to start are the two bigger questions. And then I told him I would meet with
Buildings
you.
across the street are not an option?
The buildings across the street are being used by the Lake County Health Department, so those are in full. Now, services by some of the individuals that utilize the services across the street might be, so. They were excited to find out that program was going on across the street, because it's more symbiotic, because some of the individuals that we work with have mental health issues, so it works hand in hand for all three organizations to work closely together. So looking at it, just checking to see if there's any concerns.
Just the crowdedness of your office.
I think, the logistics of juggling, using the space, multiple users.
Right.
So, but it looks like you've got a kind of like the outlines of a plan there.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, you've got until when, you don't know when they want to make the move.
Right.
But you still got.
But we're not in a
time.
hurry. We're not in any
Still got
hurry to be
time.
able to do it,
Yeah,
so,
so you
yeah.
got time to work it out.
Right.
So,
That's
Okay.
very true. And then the other thing to note is that individuals would not be calling the township for NACASA services. They would call their main line, and then they would filter the information back to them. So it wouldn't be any more, obviously walk-ins and people that are, I have to go to court today and I need to do a drop or whatever, then they would, see them, but I think it should be okay. So,
sounds good.
so Diane, do we need to vote on it, or is it just more information, do you think? or-
It's just
It's on here as a
discussion.
discussion, so if you wanted something more permanent, I do it at the next meeting, have it be a
Okay.
approval of.
Okay, excellent. So actually what I would prefer to do is go back and meet with NACASA again and really get the layout of what we'd like to do and bring it back as a contract, and have you guys approve it as a group?
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, next item, assessor's report.
Thank you. I was pretty excited going home the other day. I went right to the mailbox and I opened up this letter, and it says, "Dear Larry Wickets, you have received this letter because we estimate we can save you over $1,000 on your future property tax bill. This estimate is based on research department analysis of properties in Zion Township." I was pretty excited about this. This is from this is from a company called Kensington. It's a research and recovery company. First of all, they can't do this because only attorneys can represent people, and these people are just, I don't even know what they are. They're tax reps or something like this. So please, if you read something like this or get something like this in the mail, instead of calling them and wasting your money, and this is how it works too. So they will represent you, and I'm not sure if the board of review will allow it, but if they do go to the board of review and they do win, they get 50% of the savings. So if they lower my assessment by a couple $1,000 and it saves $1,000 in taxes, they get $1,000 right off the top. So there's this company and there's another company, I think you might have seen the signs, that are advertising for help. You don't need these companies. If you have any questions about your assessments, feel free to come to our office and we're more than happy to help you.
And if I can just interject with that.
Sure.
Not only do they expect 50%, they expect 50% within a certain number of days, or the interest gets tacked on top of
Yeah,
that. Most seniors, they pay their property tax monthly with their principal and interest. And so they don't have that kind of cash sitting around. And I had a couple of really serious situations where they were hounding them pretty seriously.
Right, I'm like most people, I pay my taxes out of my escrow. So if they save me some money, I'm gonna have to come up with the cash to pay them.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's not a good deal. These are scam artists, and stay away from them, please. Last day to file an appeal is August 25th. We seem like this year we've had a lot more foot traffic and a lot more phone calls, but when we sit down with the people and kind of go over their assessments, with the market going up so much, it seems like the assessments are pretty much where they should be. Sure, there's still going to be a few properties that are over-assessed. So if you feel your properties are over-assessed, or your property is over-assessed, come on in and we'll try to help you figure what's right or what's wrong. This year, also, we're only at 75 appeals at this time, and that's showing that the market is really going up and it's easy to find comparables. I haven't had much traffic as far as commercial properties. I did work with the person from Horizon Village, and we made a deal on that property. And also, I just got a call from the attorney for Applebee's, and they're not happy about their value. But all in all, it seems like people are happy. I don't know if they're happy with their assessments, but their assessments are where they're supposed to be because the market is going up. That's it. Any questions?
Mr. Wilkins,
Yes.
an associate of mine who lives in Cook County tells me that the senior citizen exemption in Cook County must be, the application must be refiled every year. I checked my blue card, I have mine, which I've had for 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
I don't care about Cook County, but how often does one need to refile?
Well, the way it works is that when you turn 65, you come in, you show us your ID, you get your senior exemption, and that's forever. You're never not going to be 65. You're always going to be a senior. But the senior freeze is a yearly thing because it's based on your income, and your income is $55,000. And a lot of times what will happen is somebody's making $45,000 one year, and they turn in an annuity or they get a gift or something like that, and it brings them over the $55,000. So they lose it for that year. But the following year, you may be back below $55,000, so then you go back to the previous year where your base year is, and you'll go back to that number. So yes, the senior freeze, you have to apply for every year.
Thank you.
Excellent. Anything else? Thank you, Assessor. And last item on the agenda is Supervisor's Report announcements. On your report, the monthly report is attached, and anyone that's interested in the monthly report just gives how many walk-ins we had, how many incoming calls, the different services, the general assistance appointments, emergency assistance, what people got assistance for. All of that is available on our website. Additionally, I wanted to share with everybody, and you guys each got one. So we purchased these as little binders. We especially purchased them for the LAHEAP recipients because there are a number of different items that they have to bring in, and they would often bring them in crushed up envelopes or just individually. So we gave these out to everybody to be able to house their documents in. We've also used them with their summer work program families. Larry's going to have some at the assessor's office and for our senior resource day. So if any of you guys know of an organization or that can use these, please let us know. Included in it, we have the local emergency resource list and then a general business card. Additionally, this is what the fire department is giving out. So when they go on a call and they're looking to, there's a situation and they know that the individual needs additional assistance, but they don't know what to do with it, they give them this. And if it's a situation where they're concerned that the individual won't reach out, they actually ask them if they can reach out on their behalf, and they send us the information, and then we reach out to the residents. So it's a pretty good setup that we've got going. Also, we are partnering with Melinda Bush's office for her annual job fair. And we're putting on a job fair workshop on Wednesday, September 6th, working with Grace Missionary Church, Pastor Doug Carlson. So from 9 until 9:30, we're going to have a session on job searches, identifying that right job, determining your focus, what strategies you need. From 9:30 until 10, best practices for creating a resume. 10 until 10:30, presenting for success, how to present yourself for an interview, how to dress, how to speak to employers, body language. And that is how to prevent for success at a job fair. Because a lot of people know how to do an interview, but how do you manage a job fair? It's kind of a different animal. And then Johnny Jenkins from Waukegan Coalition to Reduce Recidivism is going to be doing a program on what if I have a felony. Additionally, we'll have Pace Bus there, information for transportation, and then the YWCA will be there doing applications to help people with childcare. And we're partnering with Catholic Charities for the workshop and for the job fair day to provide childcare at the event. So individuals that don't have access to childcare, they will be able to have that. So looking forward to putting that on. Another thing, just to give you guys heads up, we are going to be doing a computer upgrade. We're looking to replace our case manager's computer. It is a 2009 and it's as fixed as much as it'll be fixed, and we're looking to purchase a 21.5-inch iMac for the tune of $1,099. So we're looking to hopefully replace one a year unless something happens. We'll be moving that around. So it's in the budget. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. LIHEAP is officially ended May 31st and will begin again in September. We are going to be working with the different senior buildings, and Adriana and I will be going to the senior buildings to process those applications again. Next, and the summer work program is officially over. Thank you, God. I worked out. You guys each in your packet got the newsletter for the final program that we did, and just want to thank Chris Fisher for coming out for the event. That was very cool. Appreciated that. Congressman Brad Snyder and Senator Bush have staff in our office the second Wednesday of each month from 2 until 4 p.m. And then just to update you, I met today with Benton Township Supervisor Larry Booth, and we started going through the Harris Policy Labs report, just looking at all of the different facets of the report and the issues with the idea of consolidating. And our next step is we're just going to sit down with both of our budgets and just go through and find out what would the amount be to have both townships combined, to just compare it to the report and get a better amount, just to, one step at a time to see if it's the right thing to do. So I really, really appreciate the open-mindedness of Supervisor Booth in being willing to have these conversations, because I think it's good for everybody. Just wanted to give a shout out, Trustee McKinney, Deteen, and Fisher for coming to the Township Officials Boot Camp. I think it was a really good use of our day. Each of you have, or I made sure that I got the orange booklet is the, I'm drawing a blank. It is the
Township.
official document. It's the
Township
codes.
officials,
Thank you.
yeah.
Codes and the state statutes that are relate to the townships. And then the other item, which I just found out at the conference and was able to order the booklets, is the operator's manual for trustees. So yeah,
Right.
did not know. It took me a while to track them down, so we were able to get those. So, and then just a heads up, moving forward, we'll be starting the ELF Network. We're going to be revising that a little bit. We're working on that. We will be in the Jubilee Days Parade, and at the Community of Character Walk, we will also have a table. So that is everything that's going on with us. Is there anything else that come before the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, the Board of Trustees have voted to accept last month's minutes. I respectfully request that the minutes be reviewed, particularly the last item on the supervisor's report, a township official boot camp, 27th July, from 8:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Lockwood. I respectfully request that if that time is not correct, that the vote to approve the minutes be rescinded, the minutes be amended to reflect the proper time.
Thank you, sir. Is there a?
I'll make that motion.
That rescinded motion and forward motion?
Yep.
I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Any other discussion? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye, and is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion,